the more you get familiar with the body from the inside, if you like, not the viscera, but the body in terms of its sensitivity, its energies, and its breathing. And one of the benefits of Qi Gong is to stand or sit, to get the body to arrange itself in such a way that the breathing is very deep and smooth and steady, because there's no constriction here, there's no constriction here, there's no constriction here. We're not pulling the breath, dropping it. The breath comes through the body, naturally expanding. The nose is kept passive, so the breathing draws air in, from down here, which is the appropriate place. And you're breathing, by connecting your breathing to the moves, you can gradually train your breathing to become slower. The slower the breathing, the calmer you get, and the more richer the breath gets. The energy of the breathing becomes stronger, which is one of the features why meditation is such a helpful experience. Breathing, enriching energy in your body, and naturally the mind picks up. It becomes agreeable and satisfied. So we start, coming in touch with our body, finding the balance. So this means you tip around, left to right, backwards and forwards, and finding the place where it easily settles. So the weight on the front of the body of the foot is the same as the weight on the back of the foot. They're even. Often in daily life, when people are wearing shoes, then the foot becomes rather insensitive because it's not contacting anything. It becomes like the hoof of a horse or an ox, a stump, because you've got this case on it. Also, the toes aren't necessarily allowed to move around. And because we're generally nowadays walking on smooth surfaces, roads, pavements and so forth, your ankles just do that. You don't get much flexion in your ankles, which you would do if you're walking on rough territory. You'd have to flex. This makes them stronger, and it also opens the joint. Because all the sinews and ligaments around the joint are much more supple and flexible, and therefore the joint isn't so compressed and constricted. It open. And so if we want to really start the process of flexing and opening from way down, so that then energy can travel up the body. So the feet are the foundation. Let's just spend a few moments, just lifting the leg and feeling, shaking the foot a little. Just actually shaking your hand. And then lift the leg and then bring the foot back. And I'll show you with my hand what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to spread the toes as I come back. You can't see it in the sock that I'm wearing, which we could take the sock off. Wear socks because it's good that the feet keep warm, so they're quite comfortable, but it's not cold in here. Spread the toes as you come up, and as you turn the foot over, keep the toes spread. Like a fan. And similarly the other leg, lift the foot, fan the toes, keep them fanned as you come down. And And you can do that a few times. And the next session, round, fan the toes and then bring them over like a claw. Lift them, fan them, turn them over like a claw. And feel what happens in your calves. You're also stretching along the top of the foot. Claw, fan, fan, and then bring it up and claw. Always you can make the toes more flexible. Ankle, maybe rotate the ankle. Round, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise. Put down, back, so practicing like this. Flick. And let's take another exercise for the legs, for the knees. We did an exercise drawing a circle on the horizontal plane, and now we draw a circle also on the vertical plane. So for this, I come over to my right side, bend the right knee, dip, turn, and lift through the left leg. Keep your back straight. Breathing out, descending through the right knee. Come over, breathing in, lifting through the left leg. Transfer, descending through the right leg. Carefully using those legs around the knees, the muscles, carry the weight gently one side to the other. And then the other direction, descend the left leg, cross, breathing in, out. So a few of those, and, you can do more, but you'll get the sense of what happens when you do that, and a warming effect. The legs feel much more alive, and all of the feet, the ankles, the knees, and so on. So now I'm going to show you something called the stone bridge. And this also includes a Qi squat. Remember the Qi squat? So Qi squat, fold at the hip joint, bend the knees, and a clamshell. So keep the back straight, tip at the hip joint. As you come over, bend the knees, exhalation. Inhalation. And as you become more familiar with the Qi squat, imagine knees are spread. Okay, so you have a ball between your knees. As you come down, everything goes into that ball. Breathing out, and as you come, push down with your feet into the floor, as if you're slightly squeezing the ball. It comes up between your hips, opening the Qi, opening here, opening here. Ball is now here, and coming up the chest. The ball is now coming up, opening the chest. Breathing out, ball goes down into the abdomen and down between the knees. Breathing in, moving the ball up from between the knees, between the hips, opening the Qi, open its groove, and the thighs slightly, and then into the chest, and of course it causes the shoulder nest to also open. So you can imagine you have like a flower or something here. So as you come back, that is going to bloom open. And similarly, this place in the Qi groove here, just imagine somewhere down the middle of that line, that also as you come up, that's going to open. This is where the lymph glands are, so very helpful to put some energy through the lymph glands, which drain all the impurities from the system. It also helps the abdomen to be a little more relaxed. Breathing is going to, and the chest to open. It's going to enhance the capacity for the breathing. Now the stone bridge, I'll show it close up and show you what the hand is going to do. And so the fingers leading the little finger and leading all the other fingers around. And as that finger leads, the wrist follows, and the elbow comes forward. So there's a whole arm movement. And what the arm is heading for the shoulder nest. Hand is heading for the shoulder nest. As it's doing so, the fingers are also, they're heading so that the index finger rests on the tip of the thumb as it enters the shoulder nest. So you can imagine these like a small flock of birds, like geese. So then they follow the leader. That leads in, and the index finger leads out. Birds fly away. Birds coming back. And then the birds fly away. Both arms are doing that, and as they do that, as they're doing that, we're also involved in a Qi squat. Check your feet. I check my feet. Certainly with no socks on, they don't slide so much. You can sometimes use rubber sandals or something like that. So as I come into the stone bridge, start with the qua squat till you get the full that flow. Keep the back straight. And as you get into that fluid rocking, bring the hand movement in and rising out. Birds flying away. So, let's run through it again. Little finger leads as we're coming over. So the whole body participates in this and synchronizing everything flowing together. This is part of the exercise of many of these things. In themselves, every detail is not that difficult, but it's making every detail flow into a whole, a kind of whole, a flowing whole. So that because we're encouraging the body intelligent to be holistic rather than, go to here, to here, to here. We want to go everywhere because this makes the energy much more smooth. Now, coming round, so qua squat, breathing out. Remember, let your elbows come pointing forward. So really widen your shoulders with that. Breathing in, breathing out, widen the shoulders, settle into the qua, into the shoulder nest. Breathing in, energy comes up the body, down the arms, and the birds fly away. And the forms subside. As you get more familiar with it, particularly as meditators, you're probably going to appreciate the stillness. It's not doing anything much at all, but just standing in the stillness and feeling the body from the inside. And you can begin to redefine the body in terms of an energy process. It's warm here or open here, or this side is balanced or imbalanced. And spread your awareness over the whole thing. And noticing any part of your body, which your finger, even that is tense, it will cause tension. So we monitor all of it. And we just close the day holding the ball. So with this we take a little bit more stand, bend the knees just another fraction. Imagine the roots are growing down through the toes into the ground. We're standing on the edge of the great ocean, vast space. Let your hands come out at abdomen level, wrapping around a ball. Palms facing the body, the trunk. Fingertips seem to be about a fist apart, or perhaps a width between your shoulder blades, which you can't see, but getting a feeling for that, so that the shoulders are not, they feel about equivalent. And this shoulder becomes a ring, like from an unbroken ring, and then we place the ring over the ball, and then settling the ring on the ball and resting on the ball. Fingers are open, palms are open. You can keep the thumbs up to keep the palms open. Keep relaxing the shoulders. The tendency is to hunch up. So keep sweeping down your back. It's always good to to draw your awareness down your back. One of the hindrances of Qi Gong is to have too much energy running up, and then you feel disoriented. So running down the back, keep your shoulders dropping. If you feel tension building up in your arms, which it might very well do, bring your awareness to that tense area. Without losing it, expand the lens of your attention to include the tense place and the open place. So in a way, it encourages the energy to warm and suffuse through the body. Anywhere you feel any clenching in your legs or your abdomen, is it possible to relax, release there? Stay loose. Imagine resting on the ball. It's not going to cause you any damage. It's a bit challenging, uncomfortable, but it's really not going to damage anything. Resting your mind, resting your will, resting, letting it happen. Okay. So then when we come to, that can be extended, and perhaps we'll just conclude this time. So then disconnect the ring, let the ball expand as feels natural. Just letting it float. See how much, where it goes. And then drawing everything back in. You can, of course, linger longer in that. I'm just giving a rough model, but you time it in accordance with what fits the energy. And you might collect back. This also is a skill. Just below the navel. Gathering everything up in here. So when that breath drops into there, picks up that qi, spreads it through the body. And we'll close the session. This session will close it this time.